Hello and welcome to another video tutorial here on understanding body language. Liars, cheese and happy feet. Hope everyone's okay and having a good Monday. So the video I did for you this morning was Justin Bieber. This lady here, Mariah Yeater, has alleged that he is the father of her 4-month-old son. So what we did this morning, we analysed Justin Bieber's statements and facial expressions and things like that, and we got a relatively inconsistent view of whether he was actually telling the whole truth or whether he was potentially concealing information. So we didn't come to an accurate conclusion because we need other videos to see if we can make a comparison between the two, because that's what body language is all about, trying to find comparisons between emotions and gestures and expressions and see how they alter occasionally from what people do naturally. So what I've got for you today is the interview that this lady, Mariah, has done on American television. It's only a little segment of the full interview, which I've not seen. However, I don't think I need to see the rest. So let's start the video. You can watch it first, and then we'll run through it afterwards.
So tell me about the night, the concert. What was it like that night at Staples?
He immediately took a liking to me, and we just got to talking, and it was kind of me and him with other people elsewhere, and then he eventually asked me, he said, "Would you mind if we can go somewhere and be alone?" And then when we got to turned out to be a bathroom, his whole demeanor changed. It went from cute and gushy, to just more aggressive.
There are people watching this.
Okay, so let's stop it right there and let's run to the very start. Okay, so I see things glaringly obvious here from a body language perspective and a statement analysis perspective. So let's start at the beginning and let's see what we spot.
So tell me about the night, the concert. What was it like that night at Staples?
He immediately took a liking to me.
Okay, so the first thing I notice here is a decreased blinking rate.
We just got to talking, and it was kind of me and him.
Okay, so the first thing I notice also here is that particular hand gesture. Now then, when you talk about two people who have a connection or some kind of sexual connection, the hands will interlock. It's a classic symbol or a classic gestural emblem of intimacy and being close with someone. So the hands will come and interlock. However, what we see there is when she says, watch that again.
To talking, and it was kind of me and him.
Me and him, but look at the distance she's making with her hands. Watch that one more time.
Me and him with me and him.
There you go. So she's making gestures here, me and him. From a body language perspective, it looks like these are not connected clearly, so that might be an indication of what actually happened just based on that hand gesture alone, because she's talking about intimacy here, but her hand gestures don't show intimacy, because those hands and fingers should be interlocked.
Me and him with other people elsewhere.
So other people, now note the hand gesture she makes for other people.
Me and him with other.
Okay, so other people is the hands going round. Okay, now where do we see that particular expression? In acting.
Elsewhere, and then he eventually asked me, he said, "Would you mind if we can go somewhere and be alone?" And then when we got to turned out to be a bathroom, his whole demeanor changed.
Okay, so note that particular expression there with the hands.
His whole demeanor changed.
She's very fond of doing that particular expression there.
It went from cute and gushy, to just more aggressive.
Okay, now that little section there is very significant to me. Let's watch it one more time.
His whole demeanor changed. It went from cute and gushy, to
Now that little hand gesture there for me tells me she's struggling recalling information, because she's making that little gesture there where we place our hands in front of ourselves, and the fingers will often pull down like that to try and recall information. Now sometimes we do this when something's never happened and we're trying to think about something. So increased cognitive load, which we potentially see here because she's struggling, because you listen to the speech.
Cute and gushy, to just more aggressive.
And what's even more interesting to note here is because she's got that hand gesture in that particular response there, so she's trying to really think about something. And also we note the inconsistent facial expression with what she said.
Aggressive.
There you go, look at that.
Just more aggressive.
There are people watching.
There is no corresponding facial expression with aggressive. Now, if you were talking about someone who's quite aggressive, the initial response is to pull the eyebrows down and together to make the anger micro expression. We don't see that here. And that's interesting. Our facial expressions correspond to what we say verbally. When we're recalling information that's true, we can actually feel the emotion here. She's talking about aggressive behaviour shown by Justin Bieber. However, we don't see that flash on the face whatsoever. We don't see that. Watch that one more time. Watch the whole thing back. Know how when she's struggling here, we can see with the speech that it becomes very slow, and that comes with increased cognitive demands, trying to think. That's when the hand comes in like that to think, by the fingers pressing down very slightly. And then we can see inconsistent facial expressions with the verbal communication. So watch that section one more time.
Cute and gushy, you know, to just more aggressive.
There are people watching
So she's pulling things out of thin air, it looks like.
this that are not going to believe what you're saying.
I've provided evidence to my attorneys, and it'll show in court.
Okay, now what's interesting to note here is the hand placing across herself here.
What you're saying.
I've provided.
Okay, so I, and the hand goes instinctively towards yourself, so it's a possession thing, which Justin Bieber didn't say I. He'd missed the pronoun out I when he was talking about this lady in the first instance. Check the other video I did before.
Evidence to my attorneys.
So slight speech error.
And it'll show in court to prove that my allegations are true.
Can I ask you what those...
Now, to prove my allegations are true. Now then, if I was talking about a true subject, I wouldn't make it an allegation because I know full well that it's fact. So bear that in mind. Allegation still has the potential for it not being true. However, if she knows the actual truth and this really happened, you wouldn't use the word allegation because you know full well that it is completely and utterly true. So you wouldn't use that particular word, in my opinion.
To prove that my allegations are true.
Can I ask you what that proof might be, or can we have any clean up? I have to be...
Now what we get there is a partial smile. Now watch that again. Note how the tongue comes toward the side of the mouth.
What that proof might be, or can we have any clean up?
So why would you be flashing happiness there? We can clearly see in that particular expression here, the tight lip smile and the zygomatic major is pulling the cheekbone up towards the eye. We don't see any crinkling around the eye, which is the orbicularis oculi, so it's not a real smile. However, she's smiling when she's talking about the fact that she can't talk about the case.
Can we have any clean up?
Now then, is that something called duping delight? Now then, we get duping delight when our lies are potentially being believed by the other person. We get a sense of delight that we're actually getting one over on somebody else. And that is where it comes in. We often get that with a smile in the wrong place. And we also get that by the use of the tongue pressing into the corner of the mouth, just like that. So the tongue is very significant with something called duping delight. If you want more information about that, have a look at Dr. Paul Ekman's work on duping delight. It's very fascinating. It's when we're potentially getting away with something or we're duping the other person into believing our lies. We're not saying she is lying, but potentially that's what this characteristic could look like.
I have to be a little straightforward with you and tell you that the security guard we talked to, he said that Justin went to the dressing room that night. He went into the dressing room. His mother was there. His hairstylist was there. His best friend was there. Then he came out of the dressing room. He was with him the whole time. They walked him to the car.
Now, watch that particular hand-to-face gesture here.
He was with him.
So she's not using the fingertips, she's using the knuckle.
With him the whole time. They walked him.
We make hand-to-face gestures often when we feel stress, internal stress. It's not the whole case, and we can also see a lack of pupil dilation as well because those pupils there are massively constricted.
To the car.
So that's very interesting to note.
Why would he say that?
So I apologise. Let's watch the video. I was talking over that bit.
Why would he say that?
No comment.
Okay, so I do apologise. I was talking over that last section. Just listen to it again.
He was with him the whole time. They walked him to the car. Why would he say that?
No comment.
Okay, so we've got a no comment during a very relaxed interview. Now, bearing in mind, this is not an interrogation. This is not the law enforcement interrogating this young lady. So there should be no reason to say no comment throughout this. If she knows the real truth and Justin Bieber is actually the father, you'll be confident in your delivery to say that, you know, what happened that night is this happened, that happened, X, Y, Z. You would not be saying no confident because it just looks like you're making the whole thing up. So that particular statement there is quite significant to the rest of the non-verbal and the verbal behaviour we've seen. So to watch it all back again from the very start.
The night, the concert, what was it like?
What do we see?
He immediately
Decreased
took a liking
blinking,
to
right?
me. And we just got to talking, and you know, it was kind of me and
So
him
lack
with
of
other people
intimacy.
elsewhere, and then he eventually asked me, he said, "Would you mind if we can go somewhere and be alone?" And then when we got to turn out
Pause,
to the
speech
bathroom,
error. Note the lip movement there.
when we got to turn
Particular expression there.
out to be a bathroom, his whole demeanor changed. It went from cute and gushy, you know.
Okay, so watch the hand gesture to just think, oh, it'll come to me in a minute. Oh, there we go. Aggressive, no facial expression that corresponds with that specific emotion.
I've provided evidence.
Okay, so that's self-emblem.
And it'll show in court to prove that my allegations
So the
are
T has
true.
come.
Can I ask you what that proof might be?
We see use of the tongue here. Then the smile comes in. Micro expression, very fast.
The security guard we talked to, he said that Justin went to the dressing room that night. He went into the dressing room. His mother was there. His hairstylist was there. His best friend was there. Then he came out of the dressing room.
Okay, self-adapter.
The whole time they walked him to the car. Why would he say that?
No comment.
So there we go. So unable to answer that question. So there you go. So it's very interesting to note the video I did before about Justin Bieber removing the pronoun I and then the woman. I think that these two probably did see each other at that concert. However, I don't think that they got together in an intimate sense. I think they might have kissed, but I don't think that there'll be anything sexual, because what I'm seeing there, I'm not seeing the right emotions coming through on this lady, and her gestures are not in time with her words, because we're seeing a lot of gestures associated with additional cognitive processing, which comes with sometimes just pulling things out of thin air. So there you go. So I hope you enjoyed that video tutorial here on understanding body language. Liars, G's and happy feet. If you'd like to check out my body language page, all you've got to do, just type in understanding body language, liars, cheeks and happy feet into your Facebook and it pops up, or just check the link below. So there you go. So that's 2 videos done on this Justin Bieber case. I'm going to wait for the full interview to come out and see what the rest of her body language and her statements are like. Remember, I've never seen this girl ever. I've only just seen this video literally about an hour ago. So we can't get an understanding of her baseline, what she does naturally and normally, so we can't get a true and accurate read. However, the statements that she gives and the body language she shows off is showing characteristics of potentially not telling the whole truth. But again, we'll all know when the DNA test comes out, and we'll see what happens next. So there you go. So from everyone here at Understanding Body Language, liars, cheeks and happy feet, take care, and bye-bye for now.